Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown and welcome social media family to my vlog on this Monday morning feeling driving me out of my mind. Monday morning feeling, Monday morning feeling, Monday morning feeling driving me out of my mind. Feeling, Monday morning feeling. I used to love that tune, man. That tune used to get rinsed in the Brown household back in the day every Sunday. I think that was like a preparation for my mum and my dad to just toil, you know, with a smile on their face the following day and week. But anyway, I digress. Greetings once again. This video comes by way of a diversion from the usual stuff that I put out, but it's still content all the same. And for me, I like to put out stuff that encapsulates all different moods that I have, that makes up the sum of all its parts, which is me. And before I go any further, I want to send heartfelt thanks to quite a number of people that have linked me of late, thanking me for putting out the Being Lloyd Brown series that I had done recently. And yeah, I'm still getting feedback from that video, and it's mostly encapsulated with thanks for doing it and congratulating my bravery, as it were. Me personally, I don't think I was brave doing it. I didn't do it out of being brave. I just done it out of necessity, because I just wanted to be more practical about letting people know who I am by just telling the story one time to a potential 6 billion people, rather than be repeating that story again and again to each different person that I meet. And the feedback came from all over the world, I must say, and I give thanks for that. And I must state for the record, even though you might see me up and jovial and what have you, I'm good. I'm in a good place, but I'm in a good place for now. When people say you just got to take it a day at a time, I don't fit under that category. I can't take things a day at a time. I have to take things an hour at a time, literally, because my mindset can shift one way or the other. But it's just how I deal with it, how I balance my equilibrium in my headspace. You get what I'm saying? And music is and has been a catalyst. But when it gets to a point where you totally shut down and you don't want to have anything to do with music, you don't want to switch anything on electronically, internet wise, or anything like that, that's when the needle can buck to the red. So I'm doing what I'm doing for balance and for healing as well. And I thank everyone that recognizes that I'm healing. One thing that my brethren Michael Gordon said to me before he left my yard after the recording session, he said, "Yes, Lloyd, me love where you're there. Me love where you're there." And I totally get where he's coming from when where he says that, because I feel the same way. I love where I'm at now. But there's still more work to do. But at the same time, I'm making music in order to set the balance. So I want to thank each and everyone that has sent me kind words and upliftment and full encouragement in relation to that series. Now, moving away from that, I want to talk to you about something else. And I want to talk to you about time. Yes, time. And how it equates to my life. Because I think some people, I don't really like using that phrase, some people, because it kind of, it tends to have the ability to alienate me from some people. But I am some people as well. I was in that category of some people. Some people don't respect time. But they don't realize how valuable time is. And I want to highlight that by telling a story, if I may indulge. A few years ago, well, many years ago, when I was in my prime, I was dating a lady called Sigourney. East End girl, mixed race, Rasta woman, had long flowing thick locks right down to her butt. Now, you know, I'm not basically giving a description in terms of race for any specific purpose. It's just to give you a description of how she looked. And she had a fascination with the color white. She wore white all year round. She wore white all year round. At a push, she would probably wear beige. But most of the year, she would wear white. Anyway, we dated and we were on the third date. Now, you know, with the third date, what comes with the third date? Well, for some people anyway. And it was arranged that we was going to have dinner around by her place. So obviously I knew that it was like my birthday and my lottery win has all come at once, right? So I'm out there in Tottenham kicking it with my brethren. We arranged to link up for, I think it was 7:30 that evening. And I'm kicking it with my brethren. Them times there was no mobile phones or what have you. And, you know, there were phone boxes all over the place. And them times to make a phone call cost, I think it was 2 pence them time there, or 5 pence. It was around that. You know what I mean? Silly money. And I didn't phone her. And I eventually got to her yard, I think it was around 8:30, 9:15. Knocking the door with a smile on my face like, hey. And she opened the door. She says, come in, Brownie, come in. So I walked in, and I took off my coat, ready to give it to her, and then for me to sit down. And she says, don't sit down. I'm saying, what do you mean? So this won't take long. What do you mean? And she said, let me tell you something. You see, time is my life. And if I'm making time, which equals my life, to welcome you into my life, with the full potential of me just opening my body to you, and my heart and my soul, and you waste that? What makes you think that all that is going to change afterwards? So you know what? We're done. See yourself out. And I was like, huh? What? What? And I said, what's your problem? She said, see yourself out. And then, you know, my pride was kind of dented at this point. And I still said, what's your problem? See yourself out. So after that, I walked out the door. And I just thought, well, she's got an issue of some kind. But it wasn't until like a little after that, like a couple of weeks after that, that I totally understood where she was coming from. Totally understood it. Because your life consists of time. And you as a person are going to make best use of your time. Even if you just want to just sit down and chill and don't do anything for the day, you're making that decision. But when somebody makes the decision for you to waste your time when you're making time for that person, and that person can't even ring you, or even by today's standards, text you and just let you know, well, running late, then they're wasting your time. And it's not just by those examples. There's many other different examples, too numerous to mention in this video. But people who don't value time, they don't value your time. That's why we make a joke when we talk about black people time. And black people time always means us being later or arriving later than the time specified. We always talk about black people time. And that in itself is so derogatory to us, because we're so used to that we have that as a colloquial term in terms of our tardiness. So what I'm trying to say in a roundabout kind of way is that in my healing, in my life, I've learned to value time, especially in my craft and what I do. That's why it seems to be such a surprise to people when they hear of the amount of albums I've released. It seems a surprise to people of the frequency and consistency of me making my albums. But that's all because I manage time. I manage time. And I manage money as well. You know, I might not have a lot of it, but I manage it in the best way that I can. But overall, I manage my time in the best way that I can. So with this technological age that we're living in terms of Facebook and YouTube and WhatsApp and Skype and all these things that we can basically communicate with people, it's still being used divisively to waste people's time. That's why I stopped using WhatsApp, because of that very same reason. Because you might send a message to somebody, they can see you send a message, you can see whether or not they've read a message, right, by the 2 blue ticks, and they just don't have the courtesy or the decency to link you. And I'm not just talking about on a social level, I'm talking on a business level as well. Let me see how much time I've got there. Where's my glasses? Let me see how much time I've got here. They will waste your time on a business level. Okay, 40 minutes. They will waste your time on a business level. And when people do that, I switch off. I totally switch off. And that's something that I've got to basically work on, because it's not just them I switch off with everything. I just take off WhatsApp completely off my phone. And a good brethren of mine linked me and says, boy, Lloyd, it's like, you know, you're cutting off good people as well as the bad people, them, you know, and what have you. But anyway, what I'm saying here is, people, don't waste time. Don't waste time with people that waste time with you. Don't waste your own time, you know, because at the end of the day, it's your time. It's not their time. Your time equals your life. Life is like a watch. right? I can put this watch on and it works. Some people might have an Apple Watch. Looks crisp, looks nicer than yours, but it still does the same job. But they both can stop all of a sudden at one time because there's no battery or there's no battery life in it or whatever reason. But they have a propensity to stop. It's how you make good of your time. I know I'm kind of rambling, but I hope that makes sense to you. So it's with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to make another video shortly. So this is going to be a two-parter, but I felt I need to make the video just to show you where I'm at before I get on with some recording. All right. So with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, you done know the coup. Abstain from foolishness, even if it's my own. Abstain from it. And in regards to wasting time, don't let nobody waste your time. If I'm wasting your time, run me. All right. So stay blessed. Till the next one. We're gone.